and we had some kids who were, of course, bigger than me and had like a lot more power than they did at their age. I'm like, hey, I'm trying to get you to get the ball in the air a little bit more because you hitting way too many ground balls. At least like line drive, a little bit of launch angle. But that's it. I mean, kind of like mostly what most teams want to do, just trying to get that ball in the air, make solid contact, and, of course, lead to home runs. But it's part of the new part of the game now.
Greg and Ben, there's our center fielder, Johan Rojas.
Yep.
Now, it used to be if you were a fast guy and had the ability to, beat out a ground ball in the infield for a hit, they would try to get you to put it on the ground because you'd have a shot. Johan Rojas, they're trying to get him to hit the ball in the air more. And Greg and Ben, what do you think about that?
I think he's got to use his speed. I think he's not a home run hitter. He's more of a gap hitter. So if he can use his speed by hitting the ball on the ground and get rallies and start innings. The couple times he's kind of disappointed me. I know he's hitting ninth, but he's been in situations where he's led off innings, and he swung at the first pitch. To me, he's the type of guy that should be programmed to take some pitches and learn how to hit with two strikes. Learn how to hit, with a strike on you. But to jump on that first pitch and then hit a weak ground ball to third base or whatever, that's not him. His objective, especially with Schwarber behind you, he should see good pitches. Oh, yeah. So he's got to discipline himself that if it is a first strike, okay, fine, you want to swing, he swung. But he swings at balls. That's one of the keys, and I think he's got to really improve on that. But talking about the outfield, and he played center field. I had one of the greatest center fielders in the game, Gary Maddox, and being a left fielder or right fielder, people don't have any idea what a good center fielder does for your left fielder and your right fielder.
Hey, Drew Davis, send your kids up here for a minute. You have to see this shirt that one of his children is wearing in honor of Ben Revere. This is Ellie and Ryan Davis from Wilmington, Delaware. And Ellie, where does she have to be today? Come back here, honey. Between Mr. Revere and Mr. Luzinski. And Ryan, you stay there with her. Where's Drew? You got your iPhone? Get a photo of this. Now, look. Can you guys see this shirt? Look at that. Isn't that neat? And in fact, Ben, when Ben saw it at the ballpark, he texted their father, Drew Davis, baseball historian, and said, I have to get one of those shirts.
Had to get it.
Did he get it for you, Ben?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
I still have it at home, so yeah, I still wear it.
Did you get it? Did they see it on live stream? Great, Chris. Okay, we have to take a commercial break. I know you kids are coming up to get an autograph, so we'll see you when you come up, and we'll be right back with the next part of today's Independence Blue Cross Pool session after this.
Hi, it's Pete from Chicky and Pete's. It's all new and it's all for you. The heated deck at Chicky and Pete's on the Boulevard is now open. It's enclosed, heated, and perfect for the ultimate in-game experience or live music when the best local bands take the stage, like LeComte, Fat Mez, or Jameson. Check our website for the band schedule. The heated deck at Chicky and Pete's on the Boulevard is now open every Thursday through Sunday. Chickies and Pete's.
Millions of Americans are losing their medical assistance or Medicaid coverage. If this affects you, Independence Blue Cross can help. You may be eligible to enroll in a health plan for as little as $0 a month. With Independence Blue Cross, you get the largest provider network in the area, including most Keystone First doctors and hospitals. We also offer free 24/7 telemedicine, coverage for hospital stays and prescriptions. See if you qualify for $0 health insurance and enroll today. Call Independence Blue Cross at 1-844-464-2583 or visit ibx.com/staycovered.
I SEPTA Philly.
I SEPTA Philly.
I SEPTA Philly.
I ride the Broad Street line. Do you know how expensive parking is?
I do not have time to deal with traffic.
Because it's better for the environment.
I ride SEPTA all the time.
Monday through Friday, and whenever game day is.
I'm out the door and at my stop by 7:30.
I catch up on work when I ride.
I check Twitter, text my buddies.
I watch sports highlights or lowlights.
For real Philly fans, SEPTA is the hometown way to go. Ride with us at iseptaphilly.com.
SEPTA offers a variety of career opportunities. Our core business is transit, and with 5 modes of service, we rely on and need operators, engineers, and conductors. But it takes a host of other specialties, including mechanics, electricians, plumbers, masons, painters, carpenters, welders, and more to keep the system moving. As an employee, you will earn competitive compensation and great benefits, including medical, dental, prescription, and a pension. Visit jobs.septa.org to apply today. That's jobs.septa.org.
There really is nothing like a home team advantage. That's why Team Toyota makes a great choice for your next vehicle purchase or service. With our MVP pricing guarantee, teammate rewards program, and streamlined customer experience, our award-winning operation ensures that you can trust our process. A home team advantage is nothing without the community. Our employees are part of our family, part of your town, and we're all part of the team. We're always here for you at one of our 3 locations in Princeton, Langhorne, and Glen Mills, or at teamtoyota.net.
If you're looking for a stylish and sophisticated fine dining experience, visit your Eddie V's Prime Seafood restaurant near King of Prussia. Eddie V's Seafood features an abundant selection of fine wines and curated cocktails to complement exquisite steaks and seafood made from the highest quality ingredients. In the V Lounge, sip on imaginative handcrafted cocktails with attitude while enjoying signature appetizers. Conveniently located between I-276 and I-76 near the King of Prussia Mall. Call them today, 610-337-7823 to schedule your night out for Eddie V's Prime Seafood.
We now return for the Independence Blue Cross Bull Session. Once again, here are your hosts, former Phillies slugger Greg the Bull Luzinski and Phillies PA announcer Dan Baker.
Hey everybody, we're back with the Independence Blue Cross Bull Session. Here's Greg Luzinski right here. And guess who else? We have Ben Revere. Man, oh man.
Whoa.
This guy could hit, and this guy could slug. Man, oh man. I've told you guys this before. I've been a rabid Phillies fan since my father first took me to a Phillies game in 1954 at Connie Mack Stadium. Boy, I fell in love with it. Seeing all that green grass and the people in the stands and smelling the sausage sandwiches and the hot dogs and the Cracker Jack and cigar smoke. I know that may sound funny. I don't smoke or anything, but there's just something neat about that. The kids yelling, "We want to hit," and my gosh, how lucky I am to announce the names of outstanding players like Ben Revere and Greg Luzinski. And, of course, tonight, Game 2 of the 2023 National League Division Series. And Greg and Ben, and it's something that was an important part of Ben's game, speed and stealing bases. I thought the Phillies, they were going up against Strider the other night. Strider has 281 strikeouts, tops in the league. He was the only 20-game winner in the National League. Did the AL have a 20-game winner this year?
I don't know that.
They may not have. He might be the only 20-game. Anyway, the Phillies were getting on and stealing bases. Ben, how important is that for a team winning a game?
I was talking to a couple of people about this series, and I said I think the biggest thing for the Phillies is base running. Trying to put pressure on the Braves, steal bases. And the people I was talking to, they're like, Phillies really don't steal bases. I'm like, well, they're going to have to. And, of course, Game 1, you see Stout steal the bag. Of course, Trey is going to be running. Saw Harper take off. Even last year in the playoffs, Schwarber was taking some bags. But aggressive base running and just, put pressure on the defense. I think now with this new rule change, you only could pick over twice, and they're allowing you to steal. And that's what I tell guys. I would tell kids all the time, like, when you get up there, they allow you to steal. It's tough for a pitcher. It plays with their head a lot. So if they could keep that up, they just get in scoring position, put pressure on the defense, it's going to help them out a lot.
Well, there's no question it played with their head. He threw the ball away. He's probably hadn't gone over that much.
Mm-hmm.
I coached in the big leagues, and Tony La Russa I played for him, and I also coached for him. He used to talk to base runners, and he used to say, pitchers it's a premeditated move in their mind to go to first base. I mean, every now and then, they get the sign for the dugout, hold them close. But it's a lot different now, because the fact you can only go over there twice, and if you go over the third time, you better be out, or he's on second base. And I think the advantage of that is where the clocks are placed in these stadiums. You can see those as base stealers. So if a guy's come over there once and twice, and he gets down to 2, you can take off, because there's no way in hell he's thinking about coming over that third time with that clock that low, because he sees it too, and he's thinking about right away going to home plate. And I can't believe that good base runners can't steal off the clock as much as they steal off a pitcher, and I think obviously that's why it's in there. They want to see more action. They want to see that guy Ben Revere steal second base. They want to see him on second base so he's in scoring position, or maybe even steal third. It happened in the first game with Turner. He got second and third, and all of a sudden it sets up the infield in, and at the plate you should become a different hitter with the infield in. So I think it's helped the game. A lot of people don't like it, but the clocks played an integral part in how a lot of teams on how they score and how they steal bases.
What do you say about that, Ben? You're a base stealer.
I think I would have 100 stolen bases if I still played.
And Ben, can I ask you this? When I was doing
that's pretty good.
Oh man, I'll be going. I'll be moving every single time.
When I was doing research on you for today's broadcast, I focused on the hitting. I mentioned you hit 305 for the Phillies in 2013, 306 in 2014, and 298 in 2015. That's pretty good numbers. I didn't write down the number of steals you had each year for the Phillies, Ben. Do you recall off the top of your head how many steals you had in your 3 Phillies years?
I think total had to be about over 100. I think the most I had was 50.
That's pretty darn good.
Yeah, I had like 50. I think 13 broke my ankle, but around that time I probably had about 20-something. And then right around the All-Star break, and then 14 I had about 50, and then my last year I had the same thing, like 20-something, maybe close to 30. It was I was moving. I mean, that's what I got signed for. It was steal bases and score runs. So, and with this, with the pitch clock and the twice you go and pick off, I think it's a heck of an advantage. I mean, look at Acuna. I mean, it's just guys like that. Even
how about his number, 40 and 70 guy?
Yeah,
that's the first time it's happened.
Oh yeah, and I think a lot of guys could get to 30-30. I mean. If the Bull had this in his playing days, he could be 50-50 guy. Could you?
No. I believe, though, tonight you're going to see, if the Braves runners get on base, you're going to see a lot of them take off.
Oh yeah.
They're going to try to emulate what the Phillies did, 2 nights ago, and that's part of the game. But Acuna, great player.
Yeah.
He's got speed. He's got that great speed. He's got great power, and he's on base. So you're going to see him run if he's on there. So one of the keys for the Philly pitching is to keep those guys off base.
Yep.
If you keep them off base, they can't run on you.
Oh, yeah.
We have to take our second commercial break, which means we're halfway through today's edition of the Bull Session. And by the way, if the Phillies keep winning, we're going to have another Bull Session next Monday. Stay with us. Stay with the Phillies. And we'll be back with the second half of today's show featuring Greg Luzinski and Ben Revere. First, these messages.
Hi, it's Pete from Chicky and Pete's. It's all new and it's all for you. The heated deck at Chicky and Pete's on the Boulevard is now open. It's enclosed, heated, and perfect for the ultimate in-game experience or live music when the best local bands take the stage. Like LeComp, Fat Mez, or Jameson. Check our website for the band schedule. The heated deck at Chicky and Pete's on the Boulevard is now open every Thursday through Sunday. Chickies and Pete's.
Millions of Americans are losing their medical assistance or Medicaid coverage. If this affects you, Independence Blue Cross can help. You may be eligible to enroll in a health plan for as little as $0 a month. With Independence Blue Cross, you get the largest provider network in the area, including most Keystone First doctors and hospitals. We also offer free 24/7 telemedicine, coverage for hospital stays and prescriptions. See if you qualify for $0 health insurance and enroll today. Call Independence Blue Cross at 1-844-464-2583 or visit ibx.com/stay covered.
I SEPTA Philly.
I SEPTA Philly. I SEPTA Philly.
I ride the Broad Street line. Do you know how expensive parking is?
I do not have time to deal with traffic.
Because it's better for the environment.
I ride SEPTA all the time.
Monday through Friday, and whenever game day is.
I'm out the door and at my stop by 7:30.
I catch up on work when I ride.
I check Twitter, text my buddies.
I watch sports highlights. Or lowlights.
For real Philly fans, SEPTA is the hometown way to go. Ride with us at iseptaphilly.com.
SEPTA offers a variety of career opportunities. Our core business is transit, and with 5 modes of service, we rely on and need operators, engineers, and conductors. But it takes a host of other specialties, including mechanics, electricians, plumbers, masons, painters, carpenters, welders, and more to keep the system moving. As an employee, you will earn competitive compensation and great benefits, including medical, dental, prescription, and a pension. Visit jobs.septa.org to apply today. That's jobs.septa.org.
There really is nothing like a home team advantage. That's why Team Toyota makes a great choice for your next vehicle purchase or service. With our MVP pricing guarantee, teammate rewards program, and streamlined customer experience, our award-winning operation ensures that you can trust our process. A home team advantage is nothing without the community. Our employees are part of our family, part of your town, and we're all part of the team. We're always here for you at one of our 3 locations in Princeton, Langhorne, and Glen Mills, or at teamtoyota.net.
If you're looking for a stylish and sophisticated fine dining experience, visit your Eddie V's Prime Seafood restaurant near King of Prussia. Eddie V's Seafood features an abundant selection of fine wines and curated cocktails to complement exquisite steaks and seafood made from the highest quality ingredients. In the V Lounge, sip on imaginative handcrafted cocktails with attitude while enjoying signature appetizers. Conveniently located between I-276 and I-76 near the King of Prussia Mall. Call them today, 610-337-7823 to schedule your night out for Eddie V's Prime Seafood.
We now return for the Independence Blue Cross Bull Session. Once again, here are your hosts, former Phillies slugger Greg the Bull Luzinski and Phillies PA announcer Dan Baker.
Session. I'm Dan Baker, Phillies public address announcer, 51 years, and we're here with Greg Luzinski and Ben Revere, a pair of outstanding Phillies outfielders, and we're talking Phillies baseball. And our producer, Chris Ermer, has done a little research on Ben's statistics during the last commercial break. And Chris Ermer, could you share with us the things that stand out in Ben's statistical profile?
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, Dan. Appreciate it. So you said you thought you'd have over 100. Would you be surprised? Over 200 stolen bases?
200?
Yeah,
Oh
211.
Oh my gosh.
211.
Now that's in his entire career, right?
Hold on a second. Bill Redner's calling me. Oh, all right. No, yeah. How about 49 stolen bases in 2014? That was as a Philadelphia Philly.
That's the year he led the National League in hitting with the most number of hits of any National League baseball player.
He swiped 40 in 2012 with Minnesota.
Wow.
Yeah, so you got 2 in 2010. You added 34 in 2011. Had 40 in 2012. 22 in 2013. 28 the next year. 45 in 2015, 45 stolen bases.
45? Oh, my goodness.
31 in 2015. And he had 24, 7, 14, 21 as you go through. But the high water mark was 2014 with the Phillies, 49, 211. I think you definitely would have had 100 bags.
Wow. Man, that's
Well, you got to hit to get to steal.
Yeah, get on base. So,
That's right.
Yeah. It was,
do you think stealing third's easier?
Oh, absolutely. You have momentum. At first base, you kind of like just stand still when you get in your lead. But second base, you kind of move your feet a little bit. I can kind of get a rhythm going against the pitcher.
I think nowadays, though, it might be a little harder.
Yeah.
Only because of where they play the second baseman.
Yeah, I mean, definitely with the shift on. I know sometimes with Howard, if I'm on second base with Howard up, they'll put the shortstop right behind.
It becomes tough for them.
And so I can't get really a big lead, or they'll spin and pick me off.
And pickoffs have become more common at second base because of the pitch count.
Yeah.
Because the catcher doesn't have to give them a sign and make sure they got it. He puts it in that pitch count and puts it in their ear, so they know a pickoff plays out. So it's become
I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah.
It's become a lot easier, especially at second base, and like you say, with the shift. We talk about the shift, and they took it away, so now they kind of get as close to that first, second base line as they can there. But, you talked about Ryan Howard. Ryan Howard was a 300 hitter.
He was.
And all of a sudden they put that shift on, and it hurt him. He was one of the guys on the Phillies, I think, that hurt the most. He'd hit balls, on the screws to that deep or that short right fielder all the time that were outs. And I think that really hurt him. Instead of being that 300 hitter or 290 hitter, he became a 235, 250 hitter. Only because of that shift, and it hurt not only him but a few other guys. But baseball basically took it away. But the thing that hitters should try to do, should try to emulate, is the middle of the field. If they think hitting and trying to hit the ball up the middle, they'll hit their balls to the left and right. But the mental part of the game should be, let's hit the ball through the middle. And they try to take away that now more than anything. I know, and going back to our ball club, the one team that did that to us, all of a sudden they started doing it to us, was when we played Cincinnati. Morgan and Concepcion would cheat on our hitters and try to take the middle away, and it took a lot of hits away from us. So the game is meant to be played in the middle of the field.
Ben, when you were a young fella growing up, where did you grow up, and were there any baseball stars that were like heroes to you, or that you patterned yourself after, or was there another an athlete of another sport or anything like that?
Oh, yeah, I was born in Atlanta. I grew up in LaGrange, Georgia, before making my move to Richmond, Kentucky. But, of course, grew up a Braves fan, but I was a huge Ken Griffey Jr. Kind of idolized him a lot. I mean, in the 90s, it was, Griffey, I don't know, it was a couple of guys, but came out with the video games, the shoes. I always wanted to be like him. Of course, I got older, I'm like, okay, I'm nowhere near him, but he, Ken Griffey Jr. was somebody I love watching. He's my favorite player. But then when I did get drafted, got to professional ball, I really started watching Juan Pierre a lot, because I knew I had
pretty much same type hitters.
So I watched him, how he approached himself, and when I did get a chance to play against him, I got to the big leagues. He was with the White Sox. I talked to him a lot.
He played with the Phillies one year.
Yeah. And so it was good. He really also helped me out a lot, but just try to really learn from him to help me develop as a baseball player, as a big leaguer. But he because he was outstanding He was outstanding outfielder and base stealer and leadoff guy. So I really watched him closely.
Yeah, Greg, how about you as a kid growing up in Chicago?
Well, we had a choice. You could be a White Sox fan or you could be a Cub fan. Obviously, I went to more Cub games because it was closer to where I lived. But wow, my uncles were diehard White Sox fans, and when they went to the game, they'd take me with them. But you know, the weird things, like he talked about Griffey, being in the National League, there was Ernie Banks, Ron Santo, Kessinger, Billy Williams.
Sweet.
All of a sudden, I find myself on the same field with them. And, I was 19 years old, and I'm going, holy, I was just in the stands 2 years ago, 3 years ago, watching these guys. I'm facing Ferguson Jenkins. I mean, you talk about, that's when you got to get the feeling that, look, I can't be awed by the fact that I'm playing against these people. I got to say I belong here. And as soon as you get that feeling in you that you belong in the big leagues, you got a chance of succeeding. But if you put that doubt in your mind that, oh man, this is what I'm going through. I'm going to face Seaver. I'm going to face Juan Morris. I got to face Gibson. You're in trouble. The minute you say I belong there, you got a chance. You got a chance to succeed.
You mentioned Ferguson Jenkins, the favorite of any Cubs fan. Of course, that was one of the worst trades in Phillies history. If you guys remember, in 65 or 66, the Phillies traded Ferguson Jenkins. I'm pretty certain it was 65. Ferguson Jenkins and an outfielder named Adolfo Phillips for Larry Jackson and Bob Buell, who were very good pitchers at one time. Not at Ferguson Jenkins level, but Jenkins went out there and...
Was John Quinn the general manager?
Yes. Yeah. And Gene Mauch was the manager. See, they wanted veterans. They had just missed in 64. And they thought that it was, I think, a lack of veteran pitchers. They relied pretty much on Jim Bunning and Chris Short, even though they had guys like Art Mahaffey and Ray Culp. They were younger.
That became part of the Phillies' way of doing things. If you were there, you announced, you watched they wanted veterans all the time. I know I was in '68. I signed, so you start following who's on that Philly ball club, and John Quinn, who went on the Wall of Fame this year, was general manager, and John always catered to an older player. Now it started to change all of a sudden when Paul Owens and Dallas Green started running the farm system, and they were pushing to get the young players there, and all of a sudden we start coming up, and Owens got the job, and start bringing. Mixing with those veteran teams, and you saw them. We started out. We were terrible. I was on teams that were in dead last place. We didn't play very well. And then all of a sudden, the Bull was there. Then I was there. Then Schmitty came up. Booney came up. Mike Anderson was there. We started getting young, and we had some young arms, and they gave those young arms a chance to pitch, and they also made that one big trade that Quinn was involved in with Rick Wise for Steve Carlton, and then that was the centerpiece of our starting rotation, and everything was built off of that. But John, you're right, was old timer. That one of the old time players, and I think you're exactly right when you say Gene Mauch was a big influence on that.
You talk about Carlton, and I mentioned Ferguson Jenkins. That was one of the worst Phillies trades ever. Of course, the Carlton trade was one of the best ever. Yeah. Even though they sent a good pitcher, Rick Wise, to the Cardinals, Steve Carlton, like Ferguson Jenkins, Hall of Famer, and boy, that was a good deal. And I guess in a lot of those things. Now, do you remember the guys I was talking about Vance Worley and Trevor May? They were considered two of the jewels of the Phillies farm system, pitching-wise.
Yeah.
When they traded them for you.
Yeah, I remember the trade went down, and I got the phone call, so I knew I had to come in here and perform to the best of my ability, or the fans are gonna really let me have it. But wasn't a great start in 13, but then this is my first time getting traded, so it's different league, different teammates trying to adjust, and then after the month of April, which was terrible, went to May, started finding my groove, and then went from 200 to all the way to like 310, something like that, in like a month and a half. So it was I definitely had to flip the switch, but yeah, for trades like that, because a lot of pressure's on you. So
you came for the American League?
Yeah, with the Twins.
Yeah, just say another thing. A lot of times players get off the slow starts for one reason. When I played, the umpiring was different. You had American and National League umpires. When I was in the National League, pitchers were taught to throw the ball down, keep the ball down. They didn't get a high strike. Then when I went to the American League, there were some umpires still using the tube. So obviously when they got behind the catcher, they were almost standing up. So they called that high pitch, and that was a big adjustment because. You had mentally, I was a guy that wanted the ball below my hands, and the swing was different. The swing was down through the ball, hit the bottom of the ball, get the backspin so it takes off, and a high pitch gave me some trouble, and I tried to discipline off, and all of a sudden they start calling the strikes. I went whoa, but I do remember I did one thing, and I respect the umpire in Chicago. The umpire's room was right as you came out the clubhouse. So after the game, I knocked on the door and went to the umpire room, and I said to him, "Can I talk to you guys?" I said, "Why do you call that pitch that's so high all the time?" I said, I came from the National League. I want the ball down. I said, if you're going to continue to call that pitch up there, I'm going to go home. I said, I can't hit that pitch, and it must have got around the league.
Oh my gosh!
Because they start calling that ball up a ball. Pitchers, they'd be bitching about it, and I'd be going, "Damn, this is nice now." I don't have to worry about the high pitch, but that's a true story. And Ken Kaiser was the umpire behind the plate the day that I went back there, and I said, "Kenny," I said, "You got to tell this group and circulate somehow that." You got to bring the ball down. I mean, that's not a strike. I mean, come on.
I hate to interrupt, but we have one more commercial break, and I didn't want to interrupt because you're on a roll there, and it's really interesting listening to Ben Revere and Greg Luzinski.
Well, I was trying to help him out because he got off to a slow start.
I'm Phillies PA announcer Dan Baker, back with the last segment of today's Bull Session at Chickies and Pete's after this.
Hi, it's Pete from Chickie and Pete's.
I got a year.
It's all new and it's all for you. The heated deck at Chickie and Pete's on the Boulevard is now open. It's enclosed, heated, and perfect for the ultimate in-game experience or live music when the best local bands take the stage. Like LeComp, Fat Mez, or Jameson. Check our website for the band schedule. The heated deck at Chickie and Pete's on the Boulevard is now open every Thursday through Sunday. Chickies and Pete's.
Millions of Americans are losing their medical assistance or Medicaid coverage. If this affects you, Independence Blue Cross can help. You may be eligible to enroll in a health plan for as little as $0 a month. With Independence Blue Cross, you get the largest provider network in the area, including most Keystone First doctors and hospitals. We also offer free 24/7 telemedicine, coverage for hospital stays and prescriptions. See if you qualify for $0 health insurance and enroll today. Call Independence Blue Cross at 1-844-464-2583 or visit ibx.com/staycovered.
I SEPTA Philly.
I SEPTA Philly. I SEPTA Philly.
I ride the Broad Street line. Do you know how expensive parking is?
I do not have time to deal with traffic.
Because it's better for the environment.
I ride SEPTA all the time.
Monday through Friday, and whenever game day is.
I'm out the door and at my stop by 7:30.
I catch up on work when I ride.
I check Twitter, text my buddies.
I watch sports highlights. Or lowlights.
For real Philly fans, SEPTA is the hometown way to go. Ride with us at iseptaphilly.com.
SEPTA offers a variety of career opportunities. Our core business is transit, and with 5 modes of service, we rely on and need operators, engineers, and conductors. But it takes a host of other specialties, including mechanics, electricians, plumbers, masons, painters, carpenters, welders, and more to keep the system moving. As an employee, you will earn competitive compensation and great benefits, including medical, dental, prescription, and a pension. Visit jobs.septa.org to apply today. That's jobs.septa.org.
There really is nothing like a home team advantage. That's why Team Toyota makes a great choice for your next vehicle purchase or service. With our MVP pricing guarantee, teammate rewards program, and streamlined customer experience, our award-winning operation ensures that you can trust our process. A home team advantage is nothing without the community. Our employees are part of our family, part of your town, and we're all part of the team. We're always here for you at one of our 3 locations in Princeton, Langhorne, and Glen Mills, or at teamtoyota.net.
If you're looking for a stylish and sophisticated fine dining experience, visit your Eddie V's Prime Seafood restaurant near King of Prussia. Eddie V's Seafood features an abundant selection of fine wines and curated cocktails to complement exquisite steaks and seafood made from the highest quality ingredients. In the V Lounge, sip on imaginative handcrafted cocktails with attitude while enjoying signature appetizers. Conveniently located between I-276 and I-76 near the King of Prussia Mall. Call them today, 610-337-7823 to schedule your night out for Eddie V's Prime Seafood.
We now return for the Independence Blue Cross Bull Session. Once again, here are your hosts, former Phillies slugger Greg the Bull Luzinski and Phillies PA announcer Dan Baker.
Hey, thank you, and welcome back to the Independence Blue Cross Bull Session. You know, we're here at Chickies and Pete's flagship, 15th and Packer in beautiful South Philadelphia. I lived in this community when I met my wife. I lived at 19th and Hartranft, and that's where I was when I first got the Phillies PA job in 1972. But Chris Ermer has our producer, who also hosts a radio show on WBCB, and he's got a question or two for Greg Luzinski and Ben Revere.
Yeah, well, I want to ask a couple of major league hitters about what people mean when they say they can't see the ball from out of a pitcher's hand. Like, Bohm in Game 1 looked kind of lost against righties, and like he just wasn't seeing the ball well. Like, what's going on there?
No, watching the Game 1, you could tell that has some little shadows in the Truist Park. So sometimes, some hitters are different. For me, I like to see spin. And when you have those shadows come into play, it's going to be tough to see the spin of the ball, so you're just up there guessing. That's why he probably looked lost, because he was like, okay, I think he's going to throw a slider right here, then it's a fastball right by him, or here's a fastball and then slider way off the plate. But, I mean, sometimes the pitchers are really good, like Scherzer, rest in peace, Jose Fernandez. He was one where sometimes his slider looked like a fastball, and I'd be swinging, it'd be way in the dirt, and people would probably look at you like, what are you swinging at? Well, I thought it was a fastball, but some pitchers, I can see really well. Some are just like, all right, here we go. Say a little quick prayer and go in battle. But that's you can tell that it's fair enough that like sometimes the weather could play a big role, or a pitcher is that tough just to see.
And Greg, how would you answer that?
Well, it's
thanks, Ben.
pretty easy, I think, to answer. The one thing a hitter wants to do is pick the ball up as fast as he can. A lot of it has to do with a start. Every hitter has a start. He does a little something to get himself prepared. When you start and get to position to hit, you usually pick the ball up. Now, if you don't start in time and you start late, you're moving. That means your head's moving, everything else is moving. So try to hit a moving target, which is a baseball when you're moving. You're not going to focus as well, and it all starts. You can tell Harper when he does it. He's not picking a ball up and he's swinging real hard. Guess what? When he hits the home run, what's he do? He's back. He gets the position. He's back there and he goes, oh, there it is. Boom. And that to me is the key. I tried to tell people in '79 or it was '77 when I hit 39 home runs. I was fortunate to hit 309. The ball stopped. And I used to hate guys coming dugout and say, this guy's throwing real hard, because guess what? To me, I'm hitting. He's not throwing hard. He's throwing beach balls up there. And to other guys, it looks like aspirin tablets. I'm serious. It's a funny thing. But most of it has to come with getting started. If you get started late, you're moving and the ball's coming on you and it's on you like that. Now, in third baseman Bohm's case, they changed on him. They were tired of him hitting the ball. He hit him pretty good, right? So what do you got out there? You got a fastball pitcher out there, a guy that's supposed to throw the ball by you. So he was going in that batter's box. He was gonna rush to the fastball, and all of a sudden, what did he get? Boom. Boom! He not only got 1 or 2 in a row. Sometimes he got 3 in a row. Then all of a sudden, what did the guy do? Because he was rushing to get to the fastball. Now he's in his mind. He says, I want to stay back and hit it. But in order to stay back and hit it, you got to be in position to hit it. And he threw him fastballs, and he took those fastballs with his body going forward. And right then and there, he's out of whack. And not only does the catcher sense that, the pitcher senses it. So he pitches it a little bit different, and that's,
so how do you correct that?
That's the cat and mouse game that's being played back and forth. How do you correct it? I always say you got to get in position. When he starts, you start. And you know where his release point is. So you're not watching everything he does. You're watching where the ball's going to be coming from. And if you're in the position to hit the ball when he releases it, I'm not saying you're going to get a hit all the time, but you see it a whole lot better. And good hitters, they do that a lot. Tony Gwynn, he was in position to hit. When he didn't get in position to hit, he was in trouble like everybody else, but it didn't happen because he knew how to correct it.
Baseball historian Drew Davis, who's here with his children, Ryan and Ellie, today, came over, and the kids are getting autographs from Ben and Greg, and told us another interesting factoid about Ben Revere. Ben was one of the last players to hit better than 300 for a season and strike out less than 50 times. Now guys strike out like 150, 180 times, and I guess Greg and Ben, that's because of this launch angle and trying to hit the home runs. We have a very brief time. Ben, would you respond to that?
Yeah, the game's changed. I believe my career got cut short because they wanted me to hit line drive ground balls, and then this new analytics, so-called,
hit the ball in the air.
Hit the ball in the air, home runs. We don't care about average. We don't care about strikeouts. If you give us 30, that's cool. And it's just, it kind of hurt me because it's all about, I think, average base hits been part of the game forever, but it's just that's how the game's changed now.
Last word, Greg Luzinski.
Jack Foreman's going to give us a book report on seeing a baseball. I can see him over there, just spinning, his mind's spinning over there. So I expect to see that soon.
Hey, go Phillies. Thanks to Ben Revere and Greg Luzinski.
Go Phils.
I'm Dan Baker. I think we're going to see you next week for another Bull session at Chickies and Pete's.
Bring it
Thanks
home.
to Chris Ermer.